Hey y'all, and welcome back to another update on how I plan to launch a fashion line with no experience. If you've seen my last video, you know that I plan to launch a clothing line of evening and formal wear for petite women so that they can feel comfortable and confident at their next event and not have to worry about tailoring because these dresses were made specifically for petite women in mind. If you've seen my last video, you also know that I have no idea what I'm doing. I did not go to school for fashion. I don't know anything about production or sourcing, and I don't have any funding. I do, however, have a plan that I want to show you today. I did come up with a plan on Asana because not only am I trying to launch this fashion line, but I also have a full-time job. I have a husband. I have a life outside of work, and I need to take care of myself. So this will allow me to balance things more easily. Let's jump into it. The first phase in launching my fashion business will be the learning phase. I am currently in the process of reading the book, The Fashion Designer Survival Guide. Right now I'm about halfway through it, and I've covered so many topics already, but while there's a breadth of topics, it doesn't really go in depth. Some of the topics that the book has covered so far include what to do or what to know before you start, some of the fundamentals like creating a mission statement for the business, as well as setting up the business, money and how much funding you might need, product development, sustainability, fabric and materials, production, and marketing. Some of the topics I've yet to cover include sales, public relations, protecting creativity, and expanding. Also in this learning phase, I plan to utilize the University of Fashion courses. They have a wide range of lessons that contain information about sewing, sourcing, drawing. That's one thing I definitely need to learn, and more like business management. I also plan to learn some supplemental topics such as textiles, digital marketing, sourcing strategies, quality control, and e-commerce. Phase 2 of launching this business will be setting the foundation. So creating a brand identity, defining a target audience, and possibly registering the business as an LLC. Currently, it is a sole proprietorship under the name Petite. I'm not sure I want to keep this name. First, I came up with this name because I wanted to embody the confidence that petite women have. Although we are petite, we are enough, we are plenty, but it could come across as if you're on the site, there's plenty of options for petite women. I'm not really into the fast fashion trend, so there won't be too many options. I really want to focus on timeless pieces and pieces that function cross-seasonally. So there's a little bit of confusion there that customers might have. So I am thinking about changing the name from Petite, as well as re-registering the business as an LLC as opposed to a sole proprietorship, because as a sole proprietorship, my finances are connected to that business. If anything should go wrong with lenders, they're coming after me personally, as opposed to with an LLC, they would come after the business assets. The last thing in foundations would be creating a business plan. Phase 3 is funding. While $5,000 might seem like a lot based on my research, this is bare minimum. I believe that $5,000 would be enough for me to launch one dress, as well as cover any marketing and overhead expenses. Phase 4 would be building, and that includes brainstorming and sketching my ideas out, which is something I would have learned from the University of Fashion and other resources that I plan to utilize. It also includes choosing fabrics and sourcing material, creating tech packs, which is another thing you learn with the University of Fashion, finding a pattern maker, or if I feel confident enough, making a pattern myself. As I mentioned, sourcing materials, creating a sample or finding a producer that can create a sample for me, testing and refining the design, so using a test model to try on the clothes and see where there needs to be some alterations for a larger production, and then producing the final sample, setting up manufacturing, and finding sustainable packaging for shipping the clothes. Phase 5 would be launching. So that includes building an online website, establishing a business address, because I don't want my personal address online, to be frank, setting up an email for the business, setting up customer service, leveraging SEO, and announcing the launch, which I believe will be announced on social media, because that just seems like the easiest and most effective thing to do. Phase 6 would be social awareness, and that includes social media. I believe I plan to use Instagram for sure, because fashion is such a visual business, as well as Pinterest and maybe TikTok. I'm not really familiar with TikTok, being who I am. I'm just not very familiar with social in general, but maybe explore some TikTok, collaborate with influencers, run ads, and engage with potential customers. Phase 7 is growth, and that includes monitoring the sales that hopefully we have, collecting feedback, and using that information to launch the next collection of dresses. So that is how I plan to go about launching this business, as well as balancing my current 9-to-5 job as an SEO, managing my family and home life, and taking care of myself. If you have any recommendations or suggestions, tips, encouragement, please leave a comment below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time with my next update.